Hey everybody, this is Jam at Denk Studios, and this is Output Arcade.
It's not too late.
All right, everyone, here it is. This is my favorite production instrument, samples, loops, all kinds of things you can do here. This is what I use the most for my production. I also have some other things that I use, but today we're going to focus right here on Output Arcade, my favorite. It makes it so easy to create your own samples and your own loops and come up with all kinds of things that really help you get your music to the next level. There's a couple of features about it that I really want to go into today about the ease of use, and then I'll show you a couple things that are a little strange so that you can start using it at home. Try to make this as quick as possible. There's a lot of features in here, so I could go on and on for hours, but I'm going to try to keep this to just a quick little tutorial here for you. So we got our lines here. So basically each section has their own lines, and all of these lines that you get included, and this is $10 a month. And so what you can do is pick something that you want to use. Let's say that we wanted to use drip. It's a hip hop kind of based sampler. So we click on drip here, and then it takes a minute to load. I do want to let you know that the requirements for this thing is kind of big. You have to have, the recommended is 8 gigs of RAM. I have 16 and it runs great. So they recommend 8 and they say for best use 16. So make sure that if you're going to be using this, that you have the CPU to use this. I also have a solid state drive, so that helps as well. So basically you open up any one you want, any sound bank you want, and you can go through and listen to what's in each bank, and they give you like a little demo. And then you get inside, you get all these kits. And so the kits are, you could just say, okay, well, I want to play them and see. Or you can click here for instrument and find which instrument that you're looking for. They have a whole bunch here that you can pick from. And anything that is not in here will not appear, so that you don't have to worry about, okay, well, I came in here for a piano and now I don't have one. So that's all in there for you. You can also pick by genre. So you can click here and say, okay, I want trap, I want R&B, and you click it. So let's say we want trap, and it takes you to the kits that have that kind of available for you. So let's just play one. Let's just pick one. Let's pick Lover's Lab. It's brand new. I've never played it before. And we'll just give it a play. That's very pleasant. Let's get something maybe a little bit more fun. Let's just go ahead and pick something I've loaded here. Okay, so that one will work because we'll add some cool drums to it from a different one. So all you have to do at this point is hit the play kit, and there is a little download kit. And what's really cool is that it doesn't drag down your computer because it downloads them to your library, but a lot of it is held like in the cloud. So you do have to have internet access to use this. Once it is loaded, though, it will replay without requiring you to be online, so you don't get completely stuck. So let me show you some features inside of here. So up here in the corner, you have, I'm going to lower this just a little bit so I'll make sure that my video is not in the way. There is a key signature here. So you can choose any key signature, major or minor, that you want to use, and it changes all the samples to match that. So that's pretty cool. So let's say that we want to make something in D minor. So we click D minor, and there we go. Another thing that you can do is you can change the time. So if you want it to play in half speed or double time, and then you can pick your quantized rate. So if you want it to be, quantized to the 16th, though, I leave it off because I use my own grid, so I don't have to worry about that. The voice limit is how many of these keys can you play at one single time. I like to put everything on its own track. So again, I put it to 6 just so I can play. And then when I'm done playing, then I can make multi-tracks there. There's also, you can change the wave, the attack, the phase, whether it's lo-fi, filtered, all that stuff. You can do that to make it more your own. And all of this is going to be in the main screen as well, but it's changing the dry wet reverbs and the decays and things like that. So you can really take any sound from here, and the chances of somebody else making that exact same sound are pretty low because you can manipulate it so much. And then you can manipulate it afterward with plugins. So you can create these sounds and make them all on your own. Okay, so we got here, we are going to pick D minor. So what I like to do when I'm producing is put in one track, maybe the first track, just the title, D minor, so that I remember what key my song is, especially if I'm doing, 15 instruments and I really want to make sure. So what we can do is we can use a MIDI controller, or we can hold this button down. And that will play for us. So let's just hold this down for ease, and then I'm going to mess with the different filters. That's cool. So you have all of those different things you can play with. Let's set it back to normal just for our demo. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and click this off. And now we're able to be here. Now, what it does is it reads the tempo in your DAW. So whatever you have, so I'm using Reaper here. I would change that. So let's say I wanted to make that, 110, change that. And then all of a sudden, it slows down because it's matching the BPM of your particular DAW. So a couple ways you can do this. You can just hit record and hold the button down. And then you'll play it back. What I like to do is I like to create a MIDI item, and you can manipulate it just in your MIDI grid, just like this. So let's say that you wanted it to start at the beginning of where you recorded and the end, and then it's manipulated. Now, one thing I have noticed about Output Arcade is that if you click here, or if you click here, or wherever, it's going to start from like it's the beginning. So what I highly recommend if you're going to be using chunks or sections is to render the file down to a wave stem once you're done putting everything where you want. It also saves CPU, and it makes it so that you can take sections and chunks and divide them up. So, and if you have something that overhangs past the grid, you'll want to make sure that your MIDI item is exactly at the beginning of that grid, because if you add a second instrument, it will not line up properly. That is kind of the down point, but it's really easy to fix and figure out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a new MIDI item. I'm going to make sure I do it as long as I want. So let's say we wanted to play for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures, right? So we're going to go here. We're going to insert a new MIDI item. This is pretty similar in every DAW. And then we're going to, when we push on the key, you'll see it highlights here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and draw it in. That delay is so cool. Okay, so now that I've drawn it in, it's there. Okay, so now let's say I want to add another one to it on its own track. You can either add it, because you have up to 6 voices. You can add it here, which is what we'll do today. I'm not going to get crazy. So now this will play together. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could make that so that this one came in, let's say on the 4th measure. Well, my snap isn't on apparently. All right, so that it'd come in just on that 4th measure. Now, why I recommend making sure that, you put everything in its own, it's just for mixing purposes. But we can go ahead and do this. So what I would do is, let's say that I wanted to do another one. I could just duplicate this track here. And I could open this up and just delete it. And then I could pick a different sound that I like. So that was 59. Okay, so then that can go together. Very cool. So let's say that I wanted the piano to just be on its own for 2. I just remove that chunk. And let's say I wanted it to go out here. I would split this and do that. Very, very cool. So let's say that I wanted to add a new kit. So I could create a new track, or I could just duplicate the track that I have. I could go in here and arm for recording again, open up Arcade. And all I have to do is hit this lines button here. And I hit this lines button. And it takes me somewhere else. So let's say I wanted to add some drums. So let's just go to Beat Elements, because there's some simple stuff in there that we can pick. So we can click this. And we can go find a drum set that we like. So let's go down. Let's see. Let's play this new one. Maybe not. Let's play this one. Sure, let's play this. I already have it loaded. And what we want to make sure is we want to make sure that we are in the same key, D minor. But when you duplicate the track, it remembers your key signature. So that's really helpful. So then we're going to close this out. We're just going to pick a beat. Let's empty this out. So let's play this and see what we have. Let's try that one. And it's going to sound a little weird with our made-up song, but whatever. We're just playing around today. And that's the best thing about Arcade, is you can just play around all day. So we're going to draw in 48, 59. And again, we could put this on its own tracks. Okay, so let's see how this sounds together. Why not? Let's try it out. And That's arcade. So let me show you some of the kits really quick while I got you. Now that I've shown you how to use it, I can show you some of these kits. Um, so that you can see what we got going on. So let's go to the lines here. So I'll just play you a preview. You can also preview these on the website. This is a 30-day free trial. I am not sponsored by them. I'm just in love. So you can try it on your own. But here's an example from the drum machine section. Okay, there's distant voices, which is pretty cool for like film. Which is pretty cool. There's chopped, which is like a bunch of different like chill stuff. Okay, so yeah, we have like a bunch of stuff. Taped has really interesting stuff in it. So you get like kind of like that 80s vibe. Beat Elements has a combination of 808s and drums. All right, and guitar is very in right now. So there's a lot of guitar stuff. They have Virtuoso, which is like a real expert at something. And they have like piano and jazz. It's great. So, if you need classical guitar in your beat, you have it there. I mean, everything you can think of. One of my favorite kits, Overture, it's the Spitfire Audio collaboration with them, and they have great stuff for making music for film. Let's listen to this one. When you get this thing, you could literally spend 8 full hours or more just listening to stuff. And you kind of get like an idea of the different stuff that you like and the different sounds that you want. But there's anything from pop, hip hop, Latin, R&B, dark music, like dark electro pop. If you make dark electro pop, I really recommend this because there are so many creepy sounds. There's even something called Haunted, where you can go in and make like something for Halloween, maybe something spooky. So there's so much that you can do with it. They even have vocal riffs on this Hooked right here. So Hooked is if you want to throw on just a quick like vocal and you're not a singer and you want something in your beat. So you can throw that stuff in there, and some of them even have like words and lyrics and stuff. It's just pretty cool, and you can manipulate the reverbs in your DAW. So it's a great tool. $10 a month. You have so much at your fingertips. Any key you want, anything you want to use, and I use this program to make my Fast Mix Friday stems for my Facebook group, Mixing It Up, where we do music critiques for each other and help with mixing and mixing education. So I have a stem club where I make little songs that are about a minute long using this particular program, and then everybody comes up with their own mix. So it's super fun. But anyway, this is Output Arcade. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, you can leave them on the forum. You can shoot me an email, jam@denkstudios.com, or visit my website, denkstudios.com, DENK studios.com. Also follow me on Instagram. And thanks for watching, Gear Fanatics.